Back to bootstrapping.
Back to the bootstraps.
Back to the basics.
Till we get to the studio.
Studio schmudio. That's what I say.
No one else would.
No one else
Unless
would
they got
dare.
hit with a club.
Ah.
Right. That was a great Jay-Z impression. It's Jay-Z if he was in
He
Box.
does that? Oh, okay.
Just listening to us, we sound okay. I'm gonna zoom in.
Do you
a
love
little
your new
bit.
camera?
I'm learning to.
Look at you. You're such an
I'm
influencer.
at a point in my life where I'm learning how to let go of things, to let new things in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
Like a mandala.
Amanda who?
Mandala.
Amanda who?
Isn't that the sand that you create and then you blow it all away and then you create a new thing? It's an orange is the new black. It's a mandala.
Right.
You should know what that is.
I should. I'm sorry. I'm way behind on everything.
I thought you knew everything.
I haven't seen you in weeks, so I've had no one to flex knowledge off.
I know.
All right. Thank you for this Red Bull, by the way.
You're so welcome.
Get as much as this in before we get going, so I can have
Chug,
a personality.
chug.
Here we go.
Chug. Chug.
I don't know why I was making eye contact with you guys. I did it. That
I
felt
kind of
really
looked
slutty.
away. I don't know if I even registered it.
No, you did.
Did I?
We locked eyes there for a second.
Do it again. Do you know when you talk to someone, you're supposed to look away?
According to who?
Like every...
Autistics?
But you can't just stare at the person and talk to them like this because it's weird. You have to like kind of like be like la 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 la.
Well, there's like
la,
a timing, right? There's like
yeah.
a,
Now
like
that
every
I've brought it
4
up, I feel
seconds.
weird. I have to.
Now we're gonna be conscious of it every single time.
I'm gonna stare at you the whole time I talk.
It's a dominance thing. I have no problem maintaining eye contact.
Yeah, but you have to do a little bit and then a little bit off.
I have a problem maintaining eye contact if somebody tells me you have to make eye contact with this person for a minute. Like, you ever play like those intimate game? Like there's
Intimate?
Yeah, there's like this relationship card game I played years ago where like it was like you have.
Sounds
Yeah, it was. It was me and another gentleman who were playing it. So it was very gay, thank you. And it was some of the best years of Christian school I ever experienced. And now that man is a senator in Texas. But like one of the things was like the whole point of the game was to ask your partner, it's like a long-term relationship game, and you were supposed to ask your partner uncomfortable questions and see how honest they were going to be. And then also they would have like truth or dare stuff. So one of them would be like stare into your partner's eyes for a minute, and that I can't do.
a minute's a long time.
I mean, it's not even that. I could sit and talk with you for a minute straight. That's fine. But stare and say nothing a minute.
Should we do it for like 10
That's
seconds?
crazy. I don't know if we could. It's not. Hold
Ready
on.
to
Let me
go.
get. Okay. All right. Hold on.
Oh, I blink. Am I allowed to blink? I'm allowed to blink.
Yeah. It's just staring.
This is not good content.
Dead air. All right. Oh, we're back. Welcome back to Bonding. We're in my
sweating.
house again, different room. I know, sorry. Did that 5
Hot.
seconds of swearing make you sweat?
No,
or
it's
is
just
it
the
the
room
heat?
temperature.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's gonna, until we get the studio, we're gonna be like milk left on the counter in the summer today.
Curdled?
That would be the word.
Okay.
Curdled, does that mean spoiled?
Yeah.
You could put it back in the fridge, though.
Then you would be poisoned by it.
Well, we got our milk facts out of the way today.
Okay. Hey,
You're
guys.
back from another country.
Hey, I am back from another country. Three
Where were
countries.
you? You went to 3 different
I
countries.
was in Ireland,
Tori Cole.
Croatia, and Montenegro.
So when you were gone, I watched a documentary about the war in Bosnia, and learned about
Isn't
Croatia.
that somewhere not that close?
It involved Croatia,
Okay.
and I didn't retain a whole lot of
Clearly.
information from the thing, but I thought of you because they were doing this whole thing about. I mean, I guess it was about ethnic cleansing. Red Bull burp. Sorry, I was
It's
really
okay.
trying not to talk through it. We're both wearing knitted shirts
We
today. I
are.
love that.
Do love this for us.
It's like
knitted shirts are in. A polo button-down knitted shirt is the thing right now.
It's the thing right now. Yeah, I got this one.
From where?
Homosexual male.
It looks nice.
H&M. Thank you.
Oh, that's what that stands for.
That's
Got
what it stands for. I like you know, like I love like mob movies and Goodfellas and stuff from like the 50s and 60s.
It's very that.
So like I could feel this, and it's light too. Like
Good.
It doesn't look light, but like when I go, I could wear nothing underneath this and I'll be fine.
And you're a little fancy too. Like
Does
you
it
can
feel
chill in
fancy?
it, you can go to dinner in it. Yeah, like it's very versatile.
I feel like a Cuban cab driver in this shirt. A little
That's
bit.
pretty spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
what
good.
do you? I feel like you.
What do you think about mine?
I'm
for
thinking
me?
yours is Food Network.
Like Rachel Ray, like you're
yeah,
about to
like,
cook some muffins.
but
or
like a
something?
Food Network thing where it's like she's like trying to take the shirt off and wants to get the meal cooked as quick as she could, just so she could, because they're into some weird sex stuff on the Food Network.
Yeah,
feel
I look like I'm into weird sex stuff and I cook things.
The shirt doesn't make you look like that, but it adds to it. It's a nice shirt. I like it. You know how to dress. I don't know how to dress. That's why I switched to all black.
I don't think I know how to dress. I was with all my friends.
That's not true.
And I felt like they knew way better than I did. And
Who
then
knows how to dress?
someone told me I dressed like the manager of an Urban Outfitters. It felt real. And then I told my friends and everyone
Okay,
laughed.
well, I mean, that's better than Urban Outfitters has some nice clothes. We have a
kids.
shared sweatshirt at Urban Outfitters.
I know.
We're also recording this in my apartment right now, and there's so many New York
so
noises.
many noises.
They're trying to light the gas stove out there. There's I think a terrorist
Truck.
attack happening out there. There's a pigeon trying to get in outside the window. That bitch is always bothering me, and I know it's the same one.
The same one? What's
It's
her
the
name?
same
You
one.
name her?
I don't have
Give
a
her a
name
name?
for her yet. I wonder if this is zoomed in enough yet.
Betty?
I'm learning this camera.
I
Sorry
like
if you're
Betty.
watching this on YouTube. I don't know if Betty's a good pigeon name.
Why not?
Doesn't seem pigeony, you know?
What would be a pigeony name?
Merle.
Your shirt says Merle.
Mine does?
Yeah.
I want my shirt to say, "Give me the fucking money."
It says
But
that
it doesn't
too.
say it.
I feel like it's...
I think that's what it says when I wear it, but it doesn't.
What do you think it actually says then?
That he was trying to prove to people that not all his shirts had Spider-Man on it, so he bought an adult shirt.
Oh, that's what you're
But
trying
this
to do.
Pop-tart
I'm trying
stain
to be an
says
adult.
otherwise.
What flavor? Pop-tart.
Cookies and cream.
Oh.
So I had a little cum stain on it right after that.
That's a good answer.
I haven't willingly eaten a Pop-Tart in years, and I just picked one up this morning.
On one of my podcasts that I like, they said that Pop-Tarts, they spike your blood sugar so high that it changes the shape of your frontal lobe.
You know what's crazy about that is they say that there's something that happens to your brain when you mix cocaine and alcohol, and it's the only those two things combined create a chemical in your brain that does not exist if you don't combine those two things.
And what happens to you?
You just fucking fall into that trap.
Because everybody
of cocaine
does
and alcohol.
that.
Yeah, like I was listening to Stevie. I don't know if I was talking to you about this, but I was watching the Stevie Nicks interview where she was talking about how she got off blow and like how because everybody in Fleetwood Mac like fucked each other and they were all on drugs. And she was talking about how she would all of a sudden have all this money, then all this coke, then you are literally not running out of money. It's rock star money. Like rock star money is an unlimited supply of money if you keep putting out hits like she was at the time. That's the thing. Like you could have rock star money, you could have like Pauly Shore in the 80s money where like it's that spurt and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're doing these weird product endorsements. But this is Stevie Nicks, and she was talking about how, getting back to the thing about the chemical that it creates in your brain, she was like, I would do a line of blow, and then after that, I would start to feel a little jittery, so I would take a shot of bourbon, and then I'd start to feel a little sluggish from that, so then I would do the blow. Mm-hmm. And that feedback loop that just sends you, the combination of alcohol and cocaine, I still don't know what the term for it is. But reading about it was so crazy because I know exactly what that feeling is. Like, you are a whole different person when you combined.
Sounds scary.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it doesn't even...
Register?
It registers when it's all over, when it's all done.
Right, that's when it's
you got
scary,
nothing
though, that you
left.
look back and you're like, what did I do?
Yeah. I mean, I would spend more time trying to not remember what I did.
Right.
But that took a lot of years to get to. That's probably a toxic thing to say. But I would just be like, I would spend a lot of time being like Sherlock Holmes. Be like, I say, Watson, dear boy, what text did he send last night? Oh, I do bequeath he did cry in front of a woman and tell him nobody will ever love him. Then I got to a point where it's just like, I'm just not going to look in the mirror till like 7 p.m. and then I'll be fine. I don't want to know now.
Look at you now.
Yeah, because anything I do, I'm doing it myself, I feel like.
That's what I've ranted to you before about how all my problems are self-inflicted.
They're cooking fish and listening to music and fucking outside of this podcast studio right now. This actually kind of does look like a little bit of a podcast studio.
It does behind you. Behind me, I've got a TV and a brick wall.
Yeah, that's fucking Joe Rogan's budget right there, dude.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It looks good. It looks good. We look good. This looks good.
You don't even know what it looks like.
Why would we ever do a studio?
Now I'm thinking that, but I'm just trying to figure out how we do it for the summer.
This is way more authentically you.
It also just feels like us. We can just do it whenever, and we don't have to worry about anyone.
You're right. Let's not do a studio.
I mean, yeah, if we want to do a guest, we'll do a studio.
Hey, let us know, guys. Do you prefer this, or do you want us to be in a studio?
Send
Venmos for the studio space.
I like this because you're right around the corner from me, and I can just set this all up, and then I don't have to worry. We're right here. We can just, like today
easier.
we were late, and then you'd be like, okay, yeah, 15, 20, 30 minutes.
And
I don't
know
give a fuck. You're right there.
Red Bull from.
Everything is right there. Thank you for the Red Bull. I really needed this. I was out of it today. I didn't do shit.
Trolley gummies.
You got me some trolley gummies.
They got something in them too. They're like big gushers.
Yeah,
will you show the people?
You want me to show the people the gummies that
you
got me?
People have brought us candy before, and it's very sweet.
They have.
I forget exactly who, so thank you. If
somebody brought us Emma Goobies. Yeah,
Emma Goobies. They brought Starburst. I think.
No. Airheads.
Airheads. Thank you for
And today, Tori, I had. Maybe, I don't know when I'll ever talk about this publicly on the podcast. Maybe one day.
Now?
I've done it. No. Why you got me these. Maybe one day I will, I feel like Don Corleone. One day and that day may never come.
I'm excited for that day.
That day may never come.
I cannot wait for that day.
I don't want to do that day, Michael, because I'm not the only one involved here. There's other people, Michael. I can't embarrass them like that. But Tori got me, some trolley sour barista
anyways.
Halo Infinite.
I like to
Infinite candies. Thank you.
Giving is my love language, as is yours.
As
is yours.
Yes, I'm still learning what love language.
As is yours.
As is yours. I do decree. I am learning what love languages.
Will you try one?
Are right now?
Oh yeah, I want to know. Are you
gonna record it? We're recording this. It's okay.
I want to get an endorsement from Trolley.
Okay, all right. It's Troll. Did you get it because my name is so close to this? Trolley?
Yeah, you're Trolley.
Trolley. I want to know what I taste like. And I've got that extra goop that goes right into your mouth, ladies. Hamana. Do I have to swallow or can I spit? Oh, I feel it now.
Do you like it?
Yeah. This will be so good when I'm high later.
Good.
Thank you.
You just put it back. You bit it and put it back here. Let me at least try a part of it.
All right. Sorry, that was rude. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to eat and then talk into the microphone. I'm trying to get new people listening to the podcast. Trying to get some energy. I'm gonna put it right in my snack drawer right here. They would pay for your ASMR. They wouldn't pay for mine.
That's good.
That's good.
Flavorful.
That's good candy right there. That's good snack.
I can't wait for the.
I looked up. You know me. I love to spend money I don't have on shit I don't need, and
that's what people are good at. It's like a human trait. It's like a talent.
All people do that.
Yeah, but you're really good at it.
I'm very good at it.
It's called consumerism.
I thought it was called buyer's remorse because that's all I ever feel. As I'm sitting in my throne, that's all I feel right now.
You love that throne.
I love this, but that R2D2 broke my goddamn heart, man. I don't even want to tell you how much that.
This?
Yeah, it's still on and it's voice activated and it's supposed to. Hey, R2? Yeah, exactly. When I was a kid, one year for Christmas, my mom got me that toy. I didn't even know I wanted it. It was just one of those things that, like, and she would do this thing that I was so pissed about. She would wrap the Christmas presents and leave them under the tree.
You're mad about that?
Yeah, because I didn't give a fuck about Santa. No, because then I just have to look. Why would you show me it if I can't have it and you're going to wrap it up?
Oh, she would show it to you first.
No, she would show me. I would just see the wrapped present under the tree.
That's how Christmas works.
No, it works. Santa comes the night before and drops it off at you, so
there
he
was
doesn't give you IBS with anxiety and makes you.
There was no illusion.
I had so many dreams
Santa?
about what was in those boxes. I knew there was no Santa because I figured out Santa's handwriting was the same as my mom's because I studied her handwriting so I could forge signatures.
Right.
And I learned that all my Christmas presents.
Did you ever believe in Santa?
No.
That's your problem.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm spending all this money on therapy, and that's what the problem has been this whole time.
Yeah.
I do like that song. I love those claymation Christmas specials, like the back in the day ones.
Yeah.
I
Mr.
believe in
Meister.
Santa
What's that guy's
Claus
name,
like
Meister?
I believe he's Mr. Heat Miser.
Heat Miser.
Whatever I touch starts to melt in my
Look, you had a
clutch. Bum,
childhood.
bum, bum, bum. He's too much. And then you had the Snow Miser, which was, I'm Mr. Snow White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow.
You're making me not want Christmas to
I'm
ever come
Mr.
around.
Icicle.
I don't like this.
I'm Mr. 10 Below.
I don't
And then
like
you had Rudolph,
this.
who was just like, yeah. Fuck you, man.
Rudolph was a tryhard and a loser.
That's one way to look at it. Same way you could say
Sorry.
Bambi was a bitch for losing his mother at such a young age, you know? That was all his fault.
Bambi's a girl, right?
I don't know. Did they ever specify that? I don't think I've ever watched Bambi. What's the point?
It's sad.
I know his mom dies and like
That's it.
yeah.
That's
What's
it.
the point of Bambi?
That's literally the whole thing.
But like, you know what's crazy? I got very obsessed with Walt Disney recently, like the person.
Oh, he's a weird dude.
Interesting man. I was reading a book about him, and there was a very sad paragraph where he died of lung cancer.
How old was he?
65.
It's young.
Around the time he was dying, he was trying to build the Florida park, Epcot. Like they wanted to build that as like a city. He wanted it to be like the city of tomorrow, and it was always going to be restructuring and redifferent because just the vision of who that guy was. Outside of Walt Disneyland theme parks, he was like, this is going to be a whole community. That's partially why Disney has that self-governing thing down in Florida now. And there's so many places, not just in Florida. There's a lot of retirement communities that have that thing where they're self-governing and like
There's like they don't apply to the real world.
They just have different rules, and because they bring in so much money in tax, that's why like Ron DeSantis is suing Disney right now, because they were like, he had that thing that don't say gay bill, and they were like, the Disney CEO at the time, Bob Chapek, didn't really do anything to defend against it, and then Disney employees walked out, and they fired that CEO, brought back the old CEO out of retirement, and now they're in a back and forth battle. Just to bring you up to speed.
About the gay thing?
Because Ron DeSantis was like, okay, if you guys are going to do that, then I'm going to take away your special privileges that you have. Not realizing that Disney generates more tax revenue for the state of Florida than anybody else. I think it's like $7 billion a year, something crazy like that.
Wow.
You don't fuck with Disney, because here's the other thing with Disney too. Sure, does Disney want to move out of Florida? No, but could they easily go to Atlanta or anywhere else? Yeah, that almost happened with Broadway. During COVID, the Broadway theaters, where they were all gonna uproot and go to Minneapolis because the governor was putting the curfews on everything, and it was fucking everything else, and they were like, all right, we don't need you. Exactly, it's not the same.
Discount experience.
I don't see it happening,
figurine.
but like I don't know if you feel this any differently, but like when I travel outside of New York, I have that like weird asshole. You know, Lara has a great bit where he talks about where he's like, everybody thinks everybody loves New Yorkers till you leave New York and you realize nobody likes us. And like, because there's so much out there that's not here. And most of the people that I know who are my friends that live here are not people born and raised here. The people that come from other places in the city sort of makes them. Say all that to say, Walt Disney.
Are we closing the loop here?
We're closing the loop. I'm getting better at it. I'm meditating 3 times a day now. I'm not happier, but I'm way more mindful. Just now, I picked up, you know, like, what do they call that? The little, when you're sewing, they put the pin cushion, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my brain as a pin cushion, and I'm trying to be conscious of where I put the pins in and know where to pull them out, right? You actually helped me do that, because you've watched me on the road so many times, and you gas me up sometimes and inflate my ego very nicely. You're not trying to. You just compliment me.
It's genuine.
And you said this to me multiple times where we were just like, I don't know how you could just go from this and then go into a bit and not repeat a joke. And then I was like, how do I do that? Then I just started looking at my brain like a pincushion. So I just,
like, ping,
I'll go all over the place, and it's probably so annoying. And like any woman that ever talks to me, ever, present company excluded, is gonna hate me because it's just gonna be all over the place. But that pincushion, Walt Disney.
I like that you
Sad
just
man.
complimented yourself off my own compliment.
I did. That sounds like a Kanye quote.
Back
I
to
complimented myself on your own
You say
compliment.
these nice things about me, and I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more. No, I mean, I just got cognizant
back
of
to
it
Walt
after
Disney,
that.
though. Sorry. Got it. So I create awareness for you.
You
God,
helped me understand.
You really can't
why.
get rid of me.
No, because I'm just trying to figure. I don't know what's going on in here, but it's bad, and I'm trying to just look at it. I'm trying to look at what's going on, and then go, okay, all right, well, let's fix. I mean, sometimes things are good, sometimes things are bad. It just depends on how you talk to yourself. It's life, and it's also I work in and I'm not saying this as a oh, please give me a break, sensei. I work in a business where I'm paid to talk as well as I am paid to think. And sometimes when you can't do either, you just get vulnerable, and it's weird how an audience connects with you, and you end up buying a broken R2D2 toy or a throne that is worth it. But Walt Disney is interesting to me because he was such a sad dude, man. Like he had there was this thing I remember in this book I was reading where he was talking about he had to create this personality for himself.
Mm-hmm.
That he was this eccentric, visionary dude that he wasn't. You know, like he was like.
He created that?
He created the
So
persona of like, hi, I'm Walt Disney, and here's what we have today. The land of tomorrow. No Jews and no Negroes in your neighborhood. Come on down to Florida. But like, he would be like, but he changed everything. I mean, with animation, with his storytelling, with his visionary capabilities.
Was he behind Fantasia?
Had to have been. No. Fantasia, was that in the 70s?
I think that was him.
He died in 65. I'm not
Should I Google
sure.
Fantasia?
We should Google it. But the
You
thing that stood out to me was
listening.
he was talking about like how he was like, I'm not the Walt Disney you know. Walt Disney that I know smokes. Walt Disney you know does not smoke. The Walt Disney I know drinks. The Walt Disney you know does not drink. He didn't let liquor be served in Disneyland parks. That's a very new thing that they only started doing like 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago?
Very recently that they just started doing that.
Epcot, you've been getting drunk around the world for years.
Well, I don't know where I got my information from then, but I know some part of that is true. Listen, I get it wrong all the time.
Fantasia was released by Walt Disney Productions, but it was written by someone else.
When did it come out, though?
1940?
Oh, really? So, I mean, but he created Mickey Mouse. That's the crazy thing. Like he created that just like that. The steam. You ever see the Steamboat cartoon? That was good. That's what I sounded like when I got the first time I got a finger in my ass.
I wish I could smoke weed because I would love to watch Fantasia.
You can watch Fantasia
out of my mind.
It's supposed to sync up to Pink Floyd's
Should I
Dark
try to
Side of the
smoke
Moon.
again?
I can help you
Will you
ease
hold
into
my
it.
hand? And put
I
me in a
would.
straitjacket?
No, I would. It's weird though because like I understand it. Like when we were in Boston and I took all those edibles, I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before, so I'll just mention it.
Pincushion. Pincushion moment.
Pincushion. I don't know if I talked about this before, but we were with Maggie and I took 2 edibles before the show because I was having panic attacks all day. My stomach was bothering me, and I was like, this will balance me out. Didn't feel anything, so when we got back to the room, I took 8, and then I just was
stoned.
Stuck. I was stuck. I felt like my skeleton was going to jump out of my body. And then that was the first time where I'd realized, like, oh, right, yeah, this is what it feels like for people who don't smoke weed regularly. Because,
it's
like,
really bad.
It's also very different. Like, if you don't drink, nobody's ever going to be like, you're like, hey, man, I really don't like the way it drinks. You're like, oh, dude, try beer next time. Don't do bourbon. Don't do tequila. So if you tell somebody that drinking makes you sick, they go, that makes sense, man. Maybe you shouldn't drink. But with weed, it's always different. They're like, you just gotta have the right strain. You gotta try it. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets into your system very differently. You know, like it's a whole.
It makes my brain think about dying. Like it's like my brain just goes, "You're gonna die one day."
One
day you'll be dead. That's all I think when I get high. One day, Dead.
I find that comforting.
Dead. Died.
That's
dead. You're dead.
Gone.
Died. Gone.
Just
Died.
cold in the ground. Everything you
the
ever worked
ground.
for, that perfect body you wanted, is just flapping away
Honestly-
with your long ass nails.
These are indestructible. My friends think they're disgusting. I learned that on my trip.
They think those nails are disgusting.
They're like, Troy, those are
Why?
fucking
Those are
gross.
red nails. What shade of red is that? That's not red. That's
like fuchsia
that's like
red.
clitoris red.
That is disgusting. If you saw this in someone's vagina, I would be worried.
It'd be much easier to find the clitoris.
It would be. I don't know why you call that clitoris red.
I don't know. Because
Guys,
I'm a
chime
comedian
in.
and I'm just firing off cylinders.
I don't like that at
I'm
all.
not thinking. I'm just feeling. I'm going up
It'd be
halfway through this Red Bull.
halfway. Can I have a sip? I want to
Only
join
if you
the
make eye
party
contact.
train.
Mm-hmm. With your clitoris nails all over it. Red Bull gives you. It'd be funny if every time somebody tried to play with your clit, it sounded like a banjo.
Like me personally, or in
Just
general?
in general, any band. You are the only. That's your Marvel
I need to pick
superpower.
my song. I would need to pick a different song.
Country Road.
I'm not a country girl.
What song on what banjo cover do you want your clitoris to? Because it's not
Not
you that's
banjo.
playing it. I'm saying the banjo would be the clitoris sound. Right. I mean, maybe actually that's not true. The banjo, a ukulele is much more pretty. It's more elegant sounding. A
Yeah.
harp.
I would pick a
harp.
I would pick a
But
ukulele.
nobody plays a clit like a harp. They play it like a banjo. The dick is a banjo.
Or a piano.
Piano. What song would you do then?
What's the main song?
I should have rubbed your clitoris.
What's the main song that everyone thinks of when they think of piano?
Boom boom boom
You know that-
boom
you know
boom
that
boom
song?
boom 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 boom
Oh, yeah.
boom boom
Do,
boom.
do, do.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Big.
Right.
No, I'm thinking of another song, but whatever. What is it? It's like,
Piano.
dude, I cannot.
I can't think of any.
I had a Playmobil piano that played a song, and I think that's what's coming to mind right now.
Playmobil
And
piano.
it would be like the do 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 do. I can't. Whatever. I'm done. I'm out. I'm leaving.
Don't tap out yet. We still have 30 minutes on this podcast to go.
Has it been 30 minutes? That's impressive.
Yeah, I think it's been.
Should we talk about
more
the
than that.
submarine?
It's been 27 minutes. Oh yeah, the submarine. I mean, yeah.
What would you do if you were trapped in a submarine and you had
I would
only
never get in that
5
goddamn
hours
submarine.
left of air?
I went parasailing once 3 years ago, and I will never do that shit ever again.
I didn't like it either when I did it. I heard
No!
the things were like,
Dude, do you know that NASA started off exploring the ocean, and then they did that for a very short period of time and went, fuck
We're
that
done.
shit. We're going up out there.
Did you read the
We're
articles?
not doing this.
Everyone was like, don't do it. They were like, this is
Yeah.
not safe.
What did you think was going to happen when you're
Some man
creating
brought
a
his
tour experience of the
child.
Titanic? That's like being like, hey, let's take our kids to this Jeffrey Epstein amusement park.
I also-
What the fuck do you think is going to happen? You're
also-
going to drown and die. And they're doing it with an Xbox controller.
I know.
I have a hard enough time playing Simpsons Hit and Run on my PC with a PS4 controller, and that's 4 rich people's lives. I don't give a fuck. Sorry.
I heard too.
The thing that sucks is like those guys are all gonna have their wealth just generationally split up to the next group of dipshits, and one of their relatives got caught going to a Blink 82. Is that what the band is? Blink 82, Blink 81.
Blink 182.
Yeah, thank you. He was at the concert the next day when they said they couldn't find the submarine, and he was like, "Well, they would have wanted me to go."
Who said that?
A relative of somebody who's
Oh.
trapped in the submarine
They
right
said
now.
that? They wanted me
Yeah,
there?
they said they would have wanted me to go. And
That's
not even that he got
hilarious.
caught going to the concert. He posted on Facebook,
Who?
"Hey, here's the relative of one of
Which
these
one?
drowned submarine
The
motherfuckers."
little boy and his dad.
What?
There's a little boy and his dad in there.
In the submarine?
Yes.
Okay, well that's I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the little boy.
He's 18, so.
That's not a little boy. If he's
Little
old enough
boy
to
to
hold
me.
an M16 and kill a bunch of dudes in ISIS, then he's old enough to not get into a fucking submarine. Am I supposed to feel bad for them?
Can I
don't.
say something? What I don't understand is that they can't even see anything from within the submarine. So they were going to watch it all from a screen anyways.
Yeah, that's the
That's
point.
bananas.
Yeah, I mean, and they were down there with a Logitech controller you could buy at Best Buy. What did you want to see down there? You go down there, you go, yep, that used to be the Titanic, I guess.
It's crazy to me.
Like,
none of it makes any sense.
What doesn't make any sense is...
I think they're all alive and they just wanted to leave Earth.
No, they're gone.
They are
yeah. Gone.
They all have different identities now. They're living in another country.
Well, there's a theory that that's what happened with the Challenger explosion crew.
They all wanted to go live some
No, that was a government orchestrated thing, and they all
live and
they all lived and they all have. I mean, there's a conspiracy out there.
Where would you go if you could start over and start a new identity?
I don't know, because I think about what I do for a living now, and it doesn't feel like work, and I would have to go and live on a farm or some shit. I mean, like, I'd want to go to Alaska, but like...
Oh, you like Alaska.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to make an honest living.
I think I look okay. Whatever.
I really should flip these around, because we're just going to keep looking at ourselves this whole time going, look at this fat piece of shit looking back at me. I would go to Alaska, but like...
Look at this fat piece of shit.
What? That's why I have it there so we can tell if it stops recording.
That's so funny. Well, I like to have little office moments sometimes with our people. You know.
I know you look into the camera a lot when I edit. It's very funny.
It's funny.
It's
for the people.
You never saw Goodfellas in its entirety, but at the end of the movie, he has to go into witness protection. And he goes, just don't send me anywhere cold. And they were like, well, you really don't really have a choice in that. And I always thought about that. Like, what do you do? I mean, how do you start a new life over? It's crazy. Like, you can't talk to anybody. You can't talk to a single person.
Nobody. You
from
can't
your
make
old life.
friends?
Not your parents.
From your life. I'm like,
you can't talk to anybody. You can't talk to anybody from your old life when you start a new one. I used to hope that Michael Jackson faked his death and that he was living in an island somewhere that he could finally be at peace and he wouldn't have to worry about any of this shit anymore. But that was just me having wishful thinking, going, hopefully he's in peace somewhere. But I know what happened, and what happened is what happens every single time.
How did he really die? Pills?
Cardiac arrest.
From like.
Well, what had happened was when he signed on to do his last tour, they said, you're going to do 10 concerts in London at the O2 Arena. And he said, that's honestly the most I can do. He was 5'9", weighed 120 pounds at this point, and like was fucked, like just not doing well. Then they added 40 more shows on top of that in the middle of the rehearsals. And he had this doctor with him that was basically... giving him a pill to get up at night and a pill to go to bed in the morning. Or a pill to get up in the morning, pill to go to bed at night. The story goes, the doctor's name was Conrad Murray. The story what killed him was propofol. That's the stuff they give you before you go into surgery. That's what he was taking to go to sleep at night. The shit that they give you so you're out for 8 hours. That's what he was on. That's what he was taking. The story goes... that he came home from rehearsal. The doctor injected him with propofol. Doctor gets up to make a phone call. 30 minutes later, he comes back. There's no vital signs from Michael. He claims after he injected Michael with propofol, shortly after the doctor left the room, Michael somehow got up and injected himself with it again. Do you know how insane that is?
People believe that? That doctor killed him.
That is the 110%.
That doctor killed him.
Well, the doctor went to jail for malpractice because he was a cardiologist, and when he called 911, he didn't know how to perform CPR. And he was dead.
Crazy.
He was dead when they got there. They released that This Is It movie because they were trying to make some of the money back that they were trying to make from this tour. But he wasn't ready to do that tour in the first place. The guy who played the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, had to train Michael so he could get back on his feet. And like, if you watch that This Is It movie, he's wearing these huge, giant, like, winter coats in Southern California in June because he was so anemic and so unhealthy and so scared. I don't remember where the pincushion was on that one.
How do we get to Michael?
It always will come back to Michael.
I know it does.
3 days from now will be, I think, 12 years since he died. 2009, June 25th, 2009. I've been thinking about Michael a lot lately.
You love him.
I love him. I think about him.
He's in your soul.
Consistently. He's there. He's inside. I always wanted to... I was trying to model myself after how he modeled his art. You know, like...
In what way?
everything he was a product of who he looked up to. He
Who do you
looked
look
up
up
to
to the
Sammy
most?
Davis Jr. and
Who do you
Fred.
look up to the most?
I mean, that's number one for me.
Michael Jackson.
Michael is number one.
In what way? Like, what trait about him that are you drawn to the most?
I saw. This probably sounds a little narcissistic, but I saw a big connection between how he grew up and how I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started to really love and appreciate his music, like I saw a connection between his dad, my dad,
With karate.
with karate, and with him with
Like,
music.
your dad wasn't like, better punchline.
Yeah, no.
Write a better tag.
No, he still is.
Imagine.
We went to Comic-Con 2 weeks ago, me and my dad. This motherfucker said to somebody, he's way better at crowd work than he is telling jokes. And I said, yeah, because you don't like the jokes because they're about you, bitch.
You said that?
No, in my head, though. I won that argument. And then when I saw that bottle of shampoo in the shower the next morning, I said the same thing. But no, I always... Because, you have arguments in the shower with your shampoo bottles. And I said it again with more vitriol.
I'm like, did I miss something?
No.
I missed it.
I just saw... I just think... When I was a kid, that was the thing that connected me with Michael. And as an adult, those same things are still connected to me through him, with him, however you want to look at it. I also feel like people have that one person or one thing that's with them their whole life. My life is equally separated between Star Wars and Michael Jackson for two very similar and different reasons. But I look at Michael as the golden standard for, forgot to turn my vibration off. I look at Michael as the golden standard for performer in terms of he studied the greats so he could become great. He studied Fred Astaire, Sammy Davis, James Brown, and all those dudes look at him and go, we are goddamn proud that he studied us because look at we were able to like that's how I feel like sometimes, not that I'm comparing ourselves to this level in
you and
any way.
Are you gonna say you and me?
No, well, maybe if you want to look at it that way, but that's how I feel like when I talk to like Tim Dillon or Andrew Schultz or like some of those dudes. Like I'm like, I feel validated in choosing brilliant idols and heroes who are innovators of their game, who reach back and want to be in touch with people who they think could be next. And that's something I try to keep an equal footing in both. Like I want to like be like, okay, I got to do my own thing, but I also there's so many greats that came before me that nothing you do is truly original. It's just an innovation of the last person that you looked up to doing that. And I get a lot of Dave Chappelle comparisons just based on my speech pattern. Yeah. All the time.
Really?
All the time. And it's now it feels like I'm convincing you. Yeah, all the time. Oh, they say, oh, don't you believe it, my friend.
I'm sorry, I just needed someone to, I'm just holding you down a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to float away.
No, I know. It,
wow, you're so great.
I try to, I wish I felt like that. I try to, anytime I feel stuck, I realize it's because I'm not surrounding myself around something that's inspiring me, which would be you. I think you are what some would call a muse.
Yes.
Not me, but some.
Also, I was just looking for something during that whole time. Thanks.
Well, it's also very important to have someone by your side and help you figure shit out and work out things creatively. And I love when I'm on the road and you're not there and they go...
And you're not there. Done. Period.
That's my favorite part. I go, wow, I could go to sleep with the TV on as loud as I want to tonight. God damn it. I won't have to hear the question at 1 a.m. What is Samurai Jack? Yeah, no, I've been on this weird fascination with guys like Walt Disney and Michael and Henry Ford for a while, but that dude was cartoonishly evil. I've been on this thing with like innovators, like trying to see like who's the first to do something.
Would you say you're an innovator?
No,
But you are the future of comedy.
no, I wouldn't say that either.
I think those
things.
You're gonna tell Logic he's wrong. That's rude.
No,
You think about what you're saying.
this is why I went through my last breakup. You're gonna put words in my mouth. You're gonna tell me I'm wrong.
I'm just pushing you to think a certain way.
I will say
in a fun way.
that those things are meant for other people to say about you, and I'm not gonna tell them that they're wrong. I'm just not gonna be the one to say.
That's fair. That's fine. I was just kind of.
Because the second
I was
you
yanking
do,
your chain
the
a
second,
little bit.
but the second you do, the second I feel like you go through, you just yanked your own chain there, my friend. Your chain's in the back of your throat, and you're yanking it from that microphone.
Anyways,
I don't know. It's important to have a humility factor. Because the second you start to have 2% confidence on the internet, they will come after you.
I feel like I keep you.
Are you
level.
bored at this conversation? You don't look like you are interested at all in this podcast. What do you want to talk about? More Submarine?
I was
Finding
listening
Dory?
intently.
Oh.
Intently.
I didn't think you were having a good time.
I was until
I try
you
to be
said
considerate
that.
of that. Sorry. You want
What
to talk
time
about
is
your
it?
time in...
What time is it?
It's 6:20. Where do you have to be?
I just have dinner at 7:30.
Okay, we got time.
Chilling.
We've been recording for 41 minutes.
Best 41 minutes of my life.
What do you want to talk about?
No, now it's not fun when you do it like that.
Why not? I like breaks.
What do you want?
I'm sorry for talking so much on my podcast named after me.
Why do you like having me on your podcast? Your podcast that's named after you.
I'll tell you what I don't like. Is I don't like the comments people direct at you sometimes on
people?
social. Don't look at them. Look at them if you want to. Look at them. I don't
Honestly,
like that.
though, it's not the people on YouTube. Yeah, and I'm looking at you. You mean
in there, right?
commenters.
Okay, yeah. So
But I was saying that the YouTube people are nice and I like you guys. It's the social media guys. It's the Instagrammers. I don't know about TikTok. I don't know what they say to me on TikTok.
well,
I don't look at that TikTok.
I will say
It's not nice. What's been your favorite mean comment?
I
should
don't
read
them.
I should do it mean tweet style. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we could do that
Is it still up? I thought you deleted the one that was really there popping off on me. Like she's
on Instagram.
stupid.
I archived it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
because I mean, I understood why people were mad at that video.
What did I say?
Nothing.
What was the?
But also, me saying that will make them upset too.
Oh, we don't want to cause a ruckus.
No, the problem was that we had a moment of civility where you said, "What would your Indian name be?" And I said, "Native American name." And then you did your office Jim Halpert look into the camera, and I told you why you don't say Indian name, and then I joked off of it, and then it was fine. Like, that's how it works. And then I don't know if they were mad at you saying Indian name, or if they were mad at you and Shelly saying Native Americans could get into college for free.
Did you pull the whole thing?
I archived it.
It's still on YouTube.
The episode is, the clip I archived.
Got it.
Because that's where they were sending you death threats, mama.
Death threats?
I mean, I got a call from my manager that said, "Hey, I'm not telling you to delete this," which she never does. She'll call me and she'll be like, "I'm just going to tell you how it's being perceived." And so I heard it and I was like, okay, I mean, I don't give a shit. But then the thing that bothers me is, and we've talked about this a lot before, women get the criticism a lot differently than dudes do.
Yeah.
Although I will say there was a comment on the last clip of the podcast that I posted that was really, it was mean, but it was a good roast.
Was there a cat emoji involved?
I don't know if there was a cat emoji.
Which one are you thinking of?
Which one are you thinking of?
Which one are you thinking of?
Which one are you thinking of? What are you thinking of?
It wasn't even proper English, so I'm not going to try and repeat it.
There was this guy that commented, I would last about 10 seconds with this girl in bed, not because I would come quickly, but because she's so boring. And I was like, that's a great insult. That is a horrible misogynistic thing to say, to equate your worth and interest to what he could do with you in bed. But I was like, that's pretty funny.
That's funny.
I didn't like it.
Boring.
It made me laugh.
How can you tell I'm boring from a 10-second clip?
It was the one that you even said was long that you shared on your story.
The olives?
Mm-hmm.
I say 2 things.
I know.
I guess I don't really portray myself in a very fun light.
But you do.
I like olives.
I mean, I pontificate like a motherfucker sometimes, and I need you to
Some people
help
like
me
it.
realize, because there's an audience for pontificating and there's an audience for you. Well, they'll tune out when I'm talking, and then you'll say something, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, right, we're back on the podcast. Like, it works.
Yeah.
There's a reason that I love working with you, and it's not going to change anytime soon, so buckle up,
yeah, buckle up.
Unless I get offered a
Spotify deal?
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. See you later.
They probably want us both, though. Spotify.
If I got a Spotify deal and they
Spotify.
paid me, I wouldn't get a Spotify deal. I'm not gonna get a Spotify.
No
deal.
Spotify for you?
They're not controversial or establishment enough to get a deal. You know.
You never know.
Nah, I do.
I
It's
think
not
you're
gonna
going to get a
happen.
big Spotify deal, and they're going to be like, and you got to bring Tori.
I like doing the podcast because I get to give people a long form thing that they could spend time with me doing every single week, rather than me having to burn out material. Us, right? But I'm thinking about me.
I know.
Us. I'm thinking about us.
I'm here too.
Which is where we are going to be out next week.
Yeah, we are. We are on the
Tacoma
road.
and Portland, June
Tacoma.
28th, June 29th.
I'm excited.
Never been. You ever been?
Do we have time to go to Mount Rainier? Because we have a show that night.
We got time.
I
Are
really
we gonna
want
stay
to
the
show it
next
to
day?
you. Friday. That could be 2 hours north if we wanted to go do that, but that's a lot. And then we leave at 6 a.m. on Saturday. No.
Yeah, that's
What
true.
should we do out there, guys?
Yeah, if anyone has any recommend, we're leaving from Portland.
Yes. So we have a whole day Friday in
You can
Portland.
do a lot of heroin out there.
They have good coffee.
And heroin. Both black.
I'll do coffee. You can do heroin.
Then we'll try to write a jazz song.
Yeah.
See who comes up with one first.
I think I'll win.
How was your, I didn't even ask you any questions about it. How was your trip?
It was really fun.
You had to give me your peach in the pit of your trip to...
Peach.
That's what we always say when we're on the road. You say, all right, guys, every time we're at the airport, Tori will be like, all right, what's your peach? What was the pit of the trip? Do you want to explain that? Talk about that. Where did you come up with that? Where did you hear that? When did you start dividing experiences based on that? That's a good thing to sort of have in your head at the end
I
of the trip.
love doing peach and pit.
Yeah, I find it interesting too.
That my friends have always done it ever since middle school, so I've always just kind of grown up with it. And peach and pit obviously is just the peak and then the low, but it's a fun way to reflect on the experience that you had.
Right.
I love this question, and I really haven't even thought about this yet because there's so many moments that
Because
were
you
great.
went to 3 countries. You
Yeah.
went to
Ireland, Croatia, and Montenegro. I can do a peach and pit for each one.
Right.
So the peach of Ireland was a dinner that me and my 2 friends had that we were just all in a good mood. We had been running around all day, and we finally sat down, and it was just the best meal, and we all were just in a good mental place. And we were just laughing the whole time, being idiots. So that was the peach.
You ever been to Ireland?
No, it was my first time.
What was your? You get there and you're like, what was it? What do you see? You get outside the airport.
A lot of green rolling hills.
A lot of shore
A lot
stuff.
of squares of green. It's kind of pretty. It's like farmland.
Yeah.
We drove down to like a place called Dingle. It's like a little
You've been
sea
to
town.
2 of the, I would say 2 of the biggest geographical potato hubs in the world in the last few
Idaho
months.
and Ireland. Yeah, I feel very lucky.
Did you have a potato in either?
No, I had French fries. They call them chips, which I don't.
Chips,
enjoy.
yeah, I know chips.
Yeah, fish and chips.
Yeah, well, they call them fish and chips
I
over
had
here
fish
too.
and chips once. It was
You know what they call chips? The Irish lads, they call them chips like what we would call like Lay's. Call them crisps.
Oh,
I love that. I love the
I-
Irish dudes for you. They say crisp.
I
Lads,
will
you want
say
some fucking crisps?
something I do regret of my whole trip is I didn't really engage with any locals. So I really would have liked to have done that. In Ireland, we met 2 other girls from Maryland, and they became our best friends. Shout out Courtney and Kate. And that was really cool. They became really good friends.
How'd you meet them?
Just we heard two girls say Maryland in a little pub in Dingle, and we were like, we're from Maryland. And then they became our friends, and then they went to Dublin, then we went to Dublin. We already were planning to go there, so we bumped into them there, and we hung out with them for a while.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
What was the pit?
Pit of Ireland.
I mean, you've told me.
Galway.
I don't know if you want to Galway.
I didn't like Galway very much.
What didn't you like? That's a city?
Yeah, it's a city, and it just it seemed kind of like blah. I don't know. It just was not it.
What? Did you just not go to any hot spots in Galway?
We went to dinner, and then we went to a bar, but my one friend was like trying to meet an Irish man to make out with. She was not successful, and it just kind of was like, come on, let's just
sounds like a romantic
keep it
comedy
moving.
in the 90s that didn't make
Keep it moving. That was kind of a pitch.
I'm Matthew
It was just kinda
McConaughey,
like,
and I'm
what
trying
are
to
we
find an
to do?
Irishman to make out with. I'm like a bird, man. Out here trying
Yeah, that
to
was a
find.
pit.
That was a pit.
I didn't love that. It was kind of just like, can we not?
What about Croatia?
Croatia. Peach was a boat day. We got on a boat, and then we went to caves, and we swam into caves, and that's
fucking
out of
insane, man.
It's out of character for me. I don't usually. And at one point there was waves crashing in, and we had to dive to get out. It was sketchy. Yeah, I didn't love that.
You will never catch me going into a cave.
I never thought I would do it either, but then here we are. That was a peach. And then the pit was we got in a little tiff, me and the girlies. Not me personally. I was just a
Can you talk about what the tiff was? What
bystanders.
happened? Was it like me
Bystander.
being the bystander in the Joey Rinaldi Holiday Inn situation?
Yeah.
It was like
I
that?
was an active watcher who didn't do anything.
Right. Well,
Who didn't do anything.
What was I gonna do? I knew he was gonna solve
delete
itself.
the Instagram story.
I don't think you would have known how.
Anyways,
Why? You still mad about that?
I'm not.
Damn.
I'm not.
I just saw the blood come out of your nose.
No.
You had a scuffle with the
There
girls
was a
in
scuffle
Croatia.
with the girlies. One friend went in on the other friend for having a lame boyfriend, and then I just kind of watched.
Ooh.
But it all got resolved
you
very
can't
quickly.
Do that.
It got resolved very quickly, and we all got along again. But that was a pit because we had such a wonderful time on the boat, and we all were like on cloud
What
nine.
caused that though? Drinks? Was it the boat? What happened?
drinks.
What made that come up?
I
The
think
subject of a
drinks.
lame boyfriend.
And then maybe he was brought up, and it was just I got something to say. And I could have chimed in, and I think part of me, I looking back, I could have said, we had such a nice day, we don't need to do this right now. But I don't know if deep down I just was kind of like, let her do her thing. I don't know. I think she wouldn't have stopped otherwise, so I just kind of let it happen. But again, I could have chimed in and said, hey, let's not do that. So that was a pit. And then Montenegro, the peach was the wedding. It's such a beautiful wedding. She
Who
had a
got
peach-
married?
My friend from high school.
Right.
Married a Montenegrin man. Lovely man.
You just say African American.
Montenegrin.
I said a little joke.
Montenegro man.
I know.
Man from Montenegro. I don't want to get canceled again.
It's okay. This clip won't go on Instagram. It's be on YouTube.
And that was
we're
beautiful.
safe.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
on the beach. Do
and
they
like
have
a
beaches
little
out there in
castle,
Montenegro?
Like a little
castles. Ooh.
It was like a
little castle
beautiful
wedding.
hotel.
Like a little Princess Bride situation.
Yeah. I gotta show you photos.
Where do you want to get married? You want to get married in like
I don't
an
wanna get
aqua turf?
married.
You don't want to get married,
No.
but you want to have a kid.
One kid, no marriage. Maybe a ring, a big ring.
From who? The
I want
kid?
a party. I just want like a party and like a acknowledgement that like we all hang out and be around.
You want a polyamorous relationship?
No, not poly, but just I don't know, paperwork. I'm not gonna change my name.
Well,
I'm not religious.
and I'll cut this out if you want me to. I know you've talked about and you've joked about how you've been involuntarily celibate for the better part of the last year, some change.
You say I'm an incel. I don't say I'm involuntary. You put that on me, and I've accepted the title.
Okay, so those words I've put in your mouth. Do you find any peace or comfort in that, or do you like? Do you like that alone time, or do you think like,
yes.
Why can't I find?
No.
When do I get to?
I never.
You don't feel that way?
I have moments.
Yeah,
for sure. I would be.
I think moments are always there. Yeah.
But I feel so like it's like a meditative state. I'm not like, what are they thinking, or what are they doing, or are they out fucking someone, or
right.
Are they,
you feel
happy? I am just one with my own brain, and it's been nice. I mean, I'd like to add someone for sure.
Why? What would you want to share some experiences with
Eventually,
someone?
yeah, it was nice to see my friend so in love and so supported. And she's been through really hard times in her life, and he came into her life during one of those really traumatic times, and that got brought up a lot during the wedding. And it was just such a beautiful through line of someone that came to her in a time when she needed it most, and he's been her rock. And I just think there's something about that with relationships where it's someone to kind of be by your side to hold you up when things go bad. So that's what I really loved seeing at the wedding, and they just make each other so happy. And I'm like, I'm happy, but I was like, that looks nice.
Do you ever feel like you could have that, or if there's something in you that's broken that can't have that?
That's a really great question. I think part of me likes to create problems, and have a more tumultuous situation. Like I like to have toxic experiences. I think historically I've dated people that
like to have toxic experiences, or are you more comfortable in toxic experiences, or you're drawn to them? That's very interesting. Why would you say drawn to them? Because that's
my first relationship was very toxic, and I think
and I know
it's like a weird comfort there.
Your parents went through a divorce at an age where you were cognizant of understanding what was going on. So that definitely, I mean, you were in your early teens when that was going on, right?
Yeah.
That's during coming of age years, where that's probably there probably wasn't a lot of intimacy between your parents at that point before that you saw.
Never.
And like as you're starting to become aware of that.
Other.
Yeah,
I thought that was normal too. I thought it was like, years are supposed to coexist and joke.
And that, I mean, you don't think that's had an impact on your ability to
love people? For sure. 1,000,000,000%.
You think so?
1,000,000,000%.
In what way? Because you don't trust them, or because you think it's going to crash and burn regardless of what you're going to do?
I think my subconscious holds on to the crash and burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think I'm never going to...
Like a house of cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all just a house of cards.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a runner too. Like if I smell something is going bad, I just take off. I'm like, this is not my problem. I'm happy alone. I don't need this. I'm good. And I just take off. What would be so running would be the thing you wouldn't want to do. What would be the thing that you should do in the running? I guess stay there and deal with the bullshit, Face the shit if you want to keep going.
Yeah.
Which is how you stay with relationships.
Yeah.
I haven't had a long relationship in a very long time, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's weird because that's when you find out when things in a relationship aren't going well. That's when you find out what the source of the issues are, and most of the time it's you. And
relationships are a mirror on yourself. You learn more about yourself than the other person, and it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
That's why I also am like I haven't been in one for 3 years, and I'm like maybe I'm stagnant on me looking in the mirror, and I could definitely reflect on more things, which is why I want to put myself out there. That almost sounds very selfish, but
no, it doesn't. I think I have a 2-year likability to me. I think I'm good for about 2 years. Then after that, you're like, that's who this is. Yeah.
And you're like, this stinks.
No, they think that of me.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah. It's like after 2 years, you're like, he just is this way.
2 years.
Which happens. Yeah, I think 2 years.
What do you think is at the core of the stink?
Of me? I just hate myself too much to ever love somebody the way I'm supposed to.
Are you going to cut that out?
No.
Okay. That's very vulnerable. We are.
Do you want me to cut any of this out?
No, I like it. I'm just saying we put our hearts on a table and we're like, everyone want to look at this? Who wants to dissect it? We're in science class.
Yeah. I think that's where, and
anytime
I've tried to hold on to a relationship knowing that, I've thought, okay, I'll fix that problem and I'll be able to get over the self-hatred thing because that's just my bullshit, and I can get over my bullshit. Don't worry about that. And that's not the right move because you just end up hurting the other person who oftentimes I've had to make love me enough for the two of us when I should have been there to put that energy into our relationship rather than sweep up whatever's broken inside of me. I also think it also comes to a point too where you have to realize that other person sometimes is A, not ready to be helped, or B, just doesn't want to be helped, or C, doesn't think they deserve the help. And a lot of the time, those long-term relationships that like last year or two like fizzle out and there's been some red flags going on and you're just like, why don't you just leave? Because you think like, okay, we'll get through this bump in the road. We'll figure it out. Because the hardest thing to do is rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
And once you do, it doesn't feel... You think you're going to feel like, whew.
Yeah.
But truly, it's like, oh, damn. All right, let me learn how to live with this again. Then you live with it, and then, it's... One thing Buddhism taught me is nothing is permanent, which is crazy because I get attached to things very...
You do?
Yeah, very much. I mean, there's 2 lightsabers behind me and a Goodfellas poster and a whole memorabilia of shit I've had my whole life. But the things you own end up owning you. And
it's a great quote.
But also, I don't think that dissecting a rainbow makes it any less prettier. And you could still understand what a rainbow is inside and out and still look at the beauty of it. And I'm sort of at the middle ground there. I've just realized now I'm at a point in my life where I can't. It's not that I can't, it's that I shouldn't let anyone in. Because
anyone in a romantic setting?
Yeah.
Because it's a very lonely life if you don't let people in. I'd like to think that you have let me into your life.
I have, honestly.
Because you wouldn't want to march alone.
No, but I feel guilty consistently.
About what?
Venting.
On me?
To anyone. Every time I talk about... I know, I love that this reggaeton music is playing outside.
Like, let me into your
life. That's what we do. It's like, hey, despacito. No, it... oh, well, hold on. Hey, shout out Sam Howard. I just got 3 texts from her. We're in a good groove with this bad boy. Yeah, anyway, you deserve to be loved.
You do too. We love each other in our own platonic, adorable way.
Yeah, we might just have to be platonic, sexless friends for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm okay with that.
I prefer it.
Yeah, we haven't hurt each other yet, so might as well not keep doing it. Oh, yeah, Wonder Twin Powers, activate. God damn. You have any final thoughts?
I love you.
I love you back.
There we go. It's uniting with our toes. With
our toe socks. You can't see it on the camera, but we're shaking hands with toes right now. It smells like onions. Road dates. TroyBondLive.com. Tori will be on a couple of those dates with me. Nothing in July. We have I'll get you on that show. July 21st or 20th. Broadway Comedy Club. I'm doing a show in the city. Please come out. I'm working out some new stuff. If you're in New York, I would love to have you come out there. July 20th.
Can I come to Georgia, Atlanta, and Nashville? You can say no.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Fine. I'll delete it off my Google calendar.
I mean, we can. I just was. You can.
You don't want me there.
No, you can.
It's written on your forehead.
I can't talk about it on the air. They're going to listen to this.
Why don't you want me to be there?
It's not me. I have an asshole that I have to let get fucked.
You have a butthole?
Consistently.
I have one too.
Every day of my life I've had a butthole.
I don't let anyone touch my butthole.
I let everyone touch it. That's the only way of keeping the lights on, baby.
All right, we'll sidebar offline. Anyways, we'll be in Tacoma and Portland.
June 28th, 29th.
Food Rex.
Food Rex.
Food Rex.
You don't have to say it like this. It's an omnidirectional microphone.
Please give us Food Rex.
You will give us your Food Rex.
Thank you.
Luke.
Thank you.
Anything you want to plug? All right, that's it for this episode of Bonding. Tune in next week where you'll find out me and Tori's results of the colonoscopy.
Bye.